Sydney is home to the Word Travels Festival this weekend and the Australian Poetry Slam finals. And this morning on the program, we are joined by the man behind Word Travels, Miles Merrill, and Queen of the Spoken Word US Urban Poetry Pioneer, Ursula Rucker. Great to have you both on board with us this morning on Weekend Breakfast.
Thank you.
And of course, I'm only just getting up to speed with the whole Poetry Slam thing. So, Miles, if you can just tell us a little bit about this festival and what it's bringing to Australia in terms of this art form.
Yep. Well, Word Travels is a performing writers festival, so we find monologue artists and wordsmiths, poets, hip-hop artists. We bring them to Sydney, we get them on stage at Sydney Opera House, and they do their thing, and audiences go crazy. So, yeah.
It's a pretty free-form kind of art form, I take it.
Well, it's many different avenues you can take with poetry. Slam poetry is one of them, and performing with music, which is my specialty. So there's definitely is so accessible and so diverse and dynamic and pretty cool.
We'll get you to give an example of slam poetry in a moment, but just tell us what it is.
Well, I mean, if I have to be honest with you, I'm not a slam poet.
No.
So, but I definitely came up with that whole genre. But yeah, it's kind of taking the poetry into an arena of competition. But it's also a good way to introduce people who are not familiar with spoken word and poetry in general and its accessibility and make it really cool.
Miles, do you think the art of storytelling has perhaps been lost recently? Despite the fact the advent of social media, I guess the storytelling is reduced to a number of characters rather than actually long-form storytelling, or be it poetry. Have we lost that art form?
I don't know if we're lost it as so much as finding it again, really. We're craving the human-to-human experience rather than just, the screen-to-screen experience. And so these live moments where you have a person in front of you telling you what is their story, what is their poem, what is their song, is a rare and incredible experience now, because we're so lost in the tweets and the sort of keyboards. And I think the fact that you've got the artist there in front of you expressing themselves rather than the artifact, or the document. It's not the book or the CD or the DVD. You've got the person with their own experience telling you what's going on for them, what's in their heart.
And does the element of live performance also introduce an extra dimension, I suppose? Because for many of us, perhaps myself included, we probably haven't looked at poetry since high school, reading books and things like that. Whereas this is more of a, like you said, an intimate form of art where you're actually interacting with people and perhaps working things out on the spur of the moment.
Absolutely. I mean, it's very inviting. It's very cross-cultural, cross-ideas, cross-everything. And yes, the poetry on the page that's a whole nother thing than when you actually experience it and you experience somebody's thought and emotion live and in the moment. And even if you thought you wouldn't like it, I bet you'll get caught.
Yeah. All right. Well, try it on for us. Can you give us an example?
Well, I think Miles is going to give you
Are you going to give us an example? Would you like to do that?
Quick sample?
Yeah.
Sure. So this is a piece that was inspired by camping in Ballina, waking up in the middle of the night, and my tent was... Well, there you go, yeah. I was bouncing down the hill in my tent with the wind, and anyway, so it goes like this. The sky carries a cattle prod that cracks like a ripped electric cable on a wet highway. White light veins stretch across the dark bosom of heaven. The lightning and thunder makes me think the world's ducks are quack, quack, quacking overhead. The rain is a 17-year cicada plague, gone kamikaze on my nylon A-frame. A bell in the hurricane spins in my racing brain, and I beg the sky's bucket dumpers to stop pummeling my weak shelter.
Wow, it definitely does bring such a powerful, evocative, I can really see, and I think I've been through some of those experiences myself that you're talking about there.
Poetry has meter, it's got rhythm, those things are sound. You need to actually speak poetry aloud in order to understand it sometimes.
Is this a step up from rapping? Obviously, we're very familiar with that, and that seems to be a male-dominated game, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's another show. I wouldn't call it a step up. It's in the same family. And I think if more people understood that, then hip-hop would definitely change. But it's all about it's about the cadence, it's about your approach and what the intention is. But, true hip-hop and poetry is really they're you know, siblings or cousins or something.
But I say it's male dominated, certainly rapping. But is this about how do you get women involved?
In poetry or hip hop?
Well, both.
Ooh, we're still trying to figure that out. I mean, I can't tell you how many bills I've been on hip hop shows when I've been the only woman that had to represent and really, you know.
Well, hopefully you won't be
my
the
presence
last. I think we started something here, and it's great to hear that there will be actually the finals happening at the Opera House on Sunday night. So lots to look forward to there.
Yeah.
Miles Merrill, Ursula Rucker, thank you so
Thanks
much
for
for your
having
time here
us.
this morning.
Thank you.